This is the Steve Gruber Show.
All right, special edition of the program coming to you live from Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. And we're going to get to all of that and everything that's going on here. I'm just going to tell you right off the top, I'm not feeling great today, folks, but I'm hanging in there. You know, when you get up at 4 in the morning, there's nobody to call. So we're going to do this show even though I don't feel well. If I have to cut away, well, then that's what we'll have to do. But I'll do my very best for you today as I do every day. Good to see you. Fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom. Where there's a little bit of a fever today. Just breaking daylight. We're in Washington, D.C. Here are three big things you need to know this hour. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is free at the moment, but he's going to be turning himself into ice, apparently. And when he does that, he'll be shipped off to Uganda, apparently. Abrego Garcia is going to be off to Uganda to prison. Number two, the city of Chicago. The city of Chicago could be the next major city to see federal troops on the streets to crack down on crime and clean out killers, pimps, and thieves. Get rid of the homeless, too. Pretty important thing. And number three. Here we go. Number three. The big story over the weekend is right here in the nation's capital. A story of triumph of law and order restored, of a president who keeps his promises. Look, we've been all over the city here for the last 2 days. I've seen 2 homeless people. 2. I don't know what happened overnight, but as of yesterday, it had been 10 days since there had been a homicide in this city. 10 days. Nobody can tell you the last time there were 10 days straight without a homicide in Washington, D.C. It's a remarkable turn of events. Our nation's capital for decades has been a cesspool of crime and chaos, of nonsense and noise and violence. But not anymore under the bold leadership of Donald Trump, who said we need to clean up the city. This is the capital of the United States of America, after all. Trump's federalization of the D.C. police and the deployment of the National Guard is working. And there's proof in the numbers. 0 homicide in 10 days. Listen to this.
The National Guard rolled into Washington last week. The locals seemed skeptical.
The crime is minimal here. There's not really a lot of crime here. It looks like window dressing to me.
But with the Guard on the ground, crime is on the decline. For the first time in a long time, D.C. has gone 7 days without a homicide. And that's not all. Carjackings are down 83%. Robberies are down 46%. Car thefts down 21%. And overall violent crime is down 22%.
When you have these kind of numbers going down, it basically says this is a success, and that means people feel safer.
Like many big cities, Washington's police department is critically short-staffed.
People who don't feel safe aren't free.
Sergeant Betsy Smith with the National Police Association says it is ripe for federal help.
More police generally equals less crime.
Yeah, that's how that works. More police, less crime. Seems to be working. Again, I've seen 2 homeless people over the entire weekend. We've walked all over town. We've Ubered. We've been out to Alexandria, Virginia and back. All over the city. 2 homeless people I've seen. 2. Trust me, that's a stark difference from the last time I was here a month ago. Stark difference. Yeah, it's working. And the naysayers are just wrong again. That's all. The naysayers are wrong again. This is a victory for the city. Americans, especially who have suffered the most under Democrat rule and the weight of crime in our capital. But the liberal media won't give credit where it's due. No, of course not. They won't. They'll twist themselves and announce to avoid saying the T word. But let's be real. This didn't happen by accident. This is the direct result of President Trump's decisive action earlier this month when he invoked the Home Rule Act to take control of the D.C. Metropolitan Police and sent 800 National Guardsmen and women from all over the country. And that's going to double, by the way. The left screamed authoritarianism. Well, if authoritarianism means eliminating violent crime like murder in the nation's capital, well, then I'll take it. A city where people can walk the streets without fear of a bullet ending their lives, that's not tyranny, folks. That's leadership. It's what it is. Let's talk about who's been hurt the most by D.C.'s crime in the past. It's no secret. It's a disproportionate number of black residents in this city. The black residents taken worse. Democrats more concerned about lowering punishment for criminals and protecting the victims. That's part of the problem. Listen.
Black people are about 46 to 47-ish% of Washington, D.C. And more than like 92% of homicide victims are black. The majority of victims, probably above 70% of the people who are victims of violent crime, are black. And from the D.C. Police Union, we know that violent crime is down 22% over the past 7 days. Robbery down almost 50% and carjacking down over 80%. The federal government doing this and operating there has quite literally made D.C. safer for Black Americans. When communities are safer for a longer period of times, this gives more stability and allows more economic growth and development. And I find it interesting because all the Democrats and all the left-leaning people who care or who claim that they care so much about Black people are quite literally fighting policies that are making Black people more safe.
Fighting policies that make Black people and the whole city more safe. Pretty ridiculous, isn't it? In 2023, when violent crime spiked to levels not seen since the 1990s, it was Black communities that took it the worst, got hit the hardest. Homicides, robberies, carjackings, you name it, the data shows Black residents were hit hardest, over and over again. Southeast DC, places like Congress Heights were practically war zones. And who was running the show back then? The same Democrat mayor, Muriel Bowser, who runs it now, who is yelling and crying foul over Donald Trump's intervention into the city. She should be applauding him. He's making your city a better place to be, Mayor Bowser. Come on, listen to this.
They needed help. They don't like to say it. I wish they'd say, I need help. I wish the mayor of DC would say, you know, we're overridden with crime and we need help, instead of saying the stats are down. I mean, they're under investigation now for fake numbers, where they fudged the numbers. And they did, there's no question about it. They said, oh, we're on a downtrend for 20 years. No, they're on an uptrend for 20 years. We are going to make DC totally safe. When people come from Iowa, Indiana, all of the beautiful places, and they're not going to go home in a body bag. They're not going home in a coffin.
Who can argue with that? Who can argue with that? For years, the mayor's soft on crime policies let gangs and thugs run wild, leaving Black families to pay the price and to bear yet another one. Trump saw this injustice, said enough is enough. His crackdown isn't just about cleaning up the city. It's about protecting those who've been failed by decades of leftist policies, those that have been ignored. Oh, you're a victim. You're just a victim. You'll be all right. You have to take out the bad guys. You want to help the good guys. Probation and therapy aren't enough for some of these guys. Here's Trump again.
Then the big question is, how long do we stay? Because if we stay, we want to make sure it doesn't come back. So we have to take care of these criminals and get them out of here. We've collected hundreds of career criminals. These are career criminals. You're not going to teach them to be nice. These are probably born that way. I don't know. But they're career criminals. They're very, very dangerous people.
Very, very dangerous people. And again, been here since Saturday morning. Spent the weekend in and around D.C., walking all over the place, Ubering elsewhere. No crime to be seen. People everywhere, by the way. It's been a lovely weekend. It really has. And 2 homeless people. That's the entire count that Ivy and I have encountered in this city over the entire weekend. Pretty remarkable. So I tip my hat to the president. Oh, in Chicago. You want some of this, don't you? You want that crime to go down. You want people to stop getting killed in the streets every day. Why wouldn't you? But who would fight against this? More on this as we continue. Good to see you on a Monday morning. It's the Steve Gruber Show. Well, another thing that the president is considering to change, well, to change the atmosphere in D.C. This is a bold move. Concealed carry for D.C. Concealed carry. I mean, it seems odd, doesn't it, that the nation's capital doesn't have the right to keep and bear arms. The people are defenseless against armed criminals. Donald Trump would like to see that changed. That'd be a bold move, to say the least. Listen.
Expanding the national concealed carry to apply to D.C. like it does in other states like Texas.
Yeah. Well, they have it in some states and they feel strongly about it. As you know, I'm in favor of it. People have to protect themselves. I'm a Second Amendment person, very simply. People have to be able to protect themselves. Especially like in Washington, you walk down the street, a guy comes up and slugs you. He's got a pistol in his hand. You can be tough, you can be in great shape, you can be a powerful person, or you can be a guy that weighs 100 pounds with a gun in your hand.
Right.
And I'll bet on the guy with a gun 100% of the time, right? And so you need protection. So I'm a Second Amendment person all the way.
Yeah. It is remarkable that this city has allowed people to be defenseless. You know, the largest and fastest growing number of concealed carry permit holders are women. That 100-pound person he was just talking about could be a woman defending herself against that big burly guy or somebody else. Second Amendment rights could change everything in D.C. It'd be a remarkable move by this president. Change everything. Can you imagine a single mom that doesn't have to cower in fear, where a small business owner can stand tall knowing they've got the means to defend their livelihood and their lives? That's what freedom looks like, folks, and Trump's ready to deliver it. Reciprocal carry. But of course, the Democrats can't stand it. They're overcome with anger. They're mad as hell. Not because they care about D.C., but because they can't stand seeing Trump succeed. How do you argue with 10 days without a murder in Washington, D.C.? How do you argue with that? Call it tyranny. There was some little rally yesterday of a few folks complaining about Trump being here. Complaining about what? I saw National Guard folks on the streets, right? People were talking to them, laughing with them, commiserating with them. So you get a rally of people on the street condemning law and order, condemning safety on the streets of D.C. To me, it's bizarre. They'd rather see the Capitol spiral back into chaos and admit Trump's policies are working. You got Muriel Bowser out here claiming crime was already down, pointing to her cherry-picked stats from 24 and 25. Nobody believes that crime was down. But D.C. was still one of the deadliest cities in America. Homicide rate higher than most major cities. Bowser's progress was a drop in the bucket compared to the bloodbath of 2023 when 274 people were murdered in this city. Trump's intervention took it to the next level, and now we're seeing results that even the most diehard liberals cannot ignore, results that he plans on taking maybe nationwide. Listen to this.
Have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with, and I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they're including the people in this audience. They'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged.
Yeah, think about this. All right, think about this. They're in the streets yelling, "Black Lives Matter," and Trump's a tyrant. Well, Trump is literally saving black lives over the last 7 years. I want you to listen to this. Over the last 7 years, of the people murdered in this city, 1,241 were black. Just 11 were white. Think about that. 1,241 black people killed in this city, 11 white folks. 112 times more likely to be killed in this city if you're black. Who's Donald Trump helping, folks? Everyone. But those minority communities are being helped significantly more. And while the left whines about militarization, residents in high crime areas like Southeast D.C., well, they're starting to feel a difference. Listen one more time.
I said D.C. was going to be looking like Germany in the 1930s. If you go around D.C. and talk to the residents after Trump's decision to federalize the city, it sounds like the residents pretty happy to me. It's crazy. Every time Trump do something, y'all had this emotional outrage. Then the shit y'all say it's gonna happen never happens. Just like y'all said we was gonna be slaves again when he got elected. But anyway, after it doesn't happen, it's straight silence. Then y'all bitch something else. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. Well, I can. The Democrats' opposition is pure politics, nothing more, plain and simple. They're mad because Trump's showing the world that real leadership, this is what it looks like. They're mad because his federalization of the police, overseen by Attorney General Pam Bondi, and the National Guard's presence has done more in a week than decades of reform under Democrats and gun control under Democrats. What's that done? Nothing. 10 days. I don't know what happened last night, but so far we could be at day 11. I don't know yet. I'm waiting to find out. But 10 days without a murder. Who could argue with that? Seriously, who could possibly argue with that? Somebody who's not right in the head, I'll tell you that. 1960s hippies who have lost their minds, maybe. Anyhow, live from the nation's capital, this is the Steve Gruber Show. Glad to have you here, following on X, Truth, Getter, YouTube. Everybody's raving about the YouTube feed. All right, so check that out. Everybody seems to love the YouTube feed. Let that grow. Let's water that and fertilize that and grow it. I don't feel very good today, but I'm glad to be here with you. Yeah, have a rough morning. I'll take a break and be right back.